Say yes to new beginnings.
Yes.
Say yes to new standards of excellence.
Yes.
Say yes to engaging reportage with a difference.
Yes.
Introducing Yes International Magazine.
My first question is, what specifically, got you interested in filmmaking? Let's start from that.
I think my first interest, like most of us, I read your interview some time ago about journalism and all that. You want to be a lawyer and then you now came into journalism. Like, my first interest, I grew up in an environment where we had several medical doctors and research fellows who were into medicine. The Nigerian Institute of Medical Research in Yaba, where the vaccine was. So initially when I went to secondary school, I wanted to be a medical doctor. But somewhere along the line, also in school then, I worked on television to an extent. In the late 70s and early 80s, that was the golden years of television in Nigeria, where you had from Enugu, you had the new masquerade, from Aba, you had the Choku, from Kaduna, you had Samaja, from Lagos, you had New Edinburgh. So this was I was seeing people on TV, and I felt I wanted to be like these people. So around 1989-90, I went to NTA. I met this certain lady called Mrs. Neukwa, who was head of the script department then.
What did you call her name?
Neukwa.
Neukwa. Okay, yeah, I remember, yeah.
She was behind she was behind programs like even Ichoku, programs like Even Things Fall Apart. She was among the scripts with the likes of Christian Onu. They were the ones who were in NTA then. There was some of his Christian Onu himself, So I went there, very young man with my script idea. She looked at the paper I came with. She laughed at me and said, "Young man, I think you need to just continue in school. You are in school already, eh? Go and finish school and then come back." I said, "No." So I kept roaming around the NTA environment until Danda Dibako got me involved in, that was towards the end of Second Chance, Morning Ride and Super Express show. Then by 1990, we did Blossom, a soap opera. Interestingly, that 1990, he fell ill, very ill, and then he could not take part in the production. We had amazing Maria Benga Richards, they were the cast of that production, Zakamata, and then of course I had to fall in as the production manager. At the point I had to assist the cameraman, him, Osmaker Ombuzia, who played Okonkwo's father in Things Fall Apart. He's late now. He was the cameraman. So he said, "Young man, you can direct this thing now. Your guy is ill," and that was how the interest in television came in. And subsequently I worked on several television productions, either as production assistant, production manager, until I woke up one day in 1992 or 93, after living in bondage, came out 93, and I felt I wanted to do my own production, an English film. It never came out today. 30 years after. It's called The Devil's Empire. I had the cast of we shot the film. We shot the film at Western House in Lagos. I had the likes of Ramsey Noah, Oke Bakassi, Sonny McDonald, Amazing Malak by that time. Then so we shot only for one day. Mado Chikwendu, Clement Aeze. Because it came on. And then I didn't have money. Most of those who were on the project then were just helping their friend, who was a young man who wanted to make a film. There's something along the line we had a major problem where I used as location. Armed robbers invaded the place when we left there and stole all the computers. You will know this man from your state, Chief G.I. Seneli, the other brother of the Alice Seneli of Cosplay. He was my boss. Yes, I used to work with him with the computer firm called Geising Computers on the Gulano Drive. So I used my office then, and then something happened, and then robbers came there, stole all the computers in the office. And luckily I was not arrested. And luckily for me, I was vindicated that I wasn't the one involved in the robbery. And then, of course, that was when I made up my mind that I wasn't going to work for anybody again. And since then, I've not worked for anybody again. But I was going to this business called film, if I could go to the kind of trauma. And then subsequently, I made my first film, which was a Yoruba film called Eshatijo in 1994. That same 94 too, I made another film called Skeleton. That had your wife as a lead character, 94, 95. And Sanoku, Sam Loco, Felicia Mayford and the rest. Even Jerry Amilo. I just saw a picture he posted today on one of the platforms. They were all in that film, 1994, 95. So that was how I came into this business, this silver screen business. I think it's Providence. It's Providence. It's Providence. I don't think I'm an expert. It's Providence.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So the unwaning interest in movie making, what would you say has kept it going? What has sustained it thus far?
I think it's perseverance. People see me today and assume it was just a flinch of luck. This is about 32 years of consistency, believing in what I do, and importantly, God has been on my side. What has kept me this long is just perseverance, God on my side, and then I believe what I'm doing. It's consistency. I've never done anything apart from this business in the last 30 years. I remember a couple of days ago, I was telling my wife that I want to go into another business. I don't try it. Stick to what you know how to do best. Because I saw a young man who went to a business of, went to a food chain. I said, this guy is making money. Let me go into it. Say, don't try it. Stick to what you know how to do best. This is what you've done in the last 30 years of your life or more. Why don't you stay in this same business?
Interesting. Interesting. Now, I got to know you very, very well. Back then, you know, when you shot a controversial movie entitled King of Money then, you know, which many believed was centered on the story of the then King of Money. Let Victor Nnamdi, popularly known as Ezego. What exactly happened? Because the movie back then was very, very controversial. You went underground, you were declared wanted, you were taken to the court, and then what exactly happened?
You know the full story, but I'll just relate the experience. You see, I think one of the first things about that movie then, what I've learned over the years is that I wasn't experienced then. I was young. You know, that's why when I see young people do some things now, I don't totally blame them. I was just newly married then. I felt I was still the young man who had no responsibilities. Yes, you are right. When I made that movie, there was excitement. Myself and my colleague, Chusayam, who's in the US now, you know Chusayam? Spider.
Yeah, I know Chips.
Who had Spider Nigeria Limited then.
I know him.
Yes, Chus. We came together. I had the idea. The man had, of course, the idea was satire per se. It wasn't really about the man. He had died 1999 December, if I'm not mistaken, 1990 December. And then, of course, we started shooting in January, and the coincidence was too much. And that's why I said, with hindsight now, I think I was young and naive. If I had to turn the hand of, I would not do that film. I wouldn't have done that film the way I did that time. Not I won't do the film, I won't do it the way I did that time. There was so much useful exuberance the way I went to the film, and then it affected me, like you mentioned, at the point I was not declared wanted per se. I went underground because my life was in danger. There were calls by the family that I should come and discuss and negotiate on the film. I did not appear. I didn't even attend the meetings. I was so headstrong. I thought I was doing a film that had nothing to do with them, so there was nothing for me to go and meet them. I also felt then it was a tool to, if I attend those meetings, it would seem like blackmail. So I knew that I was not blackmailing them, so there was no reason to even attend those meetings. Offers were made, no fairness. I remember it was a very trying period in my life. That's when I lost my house. That's when my wife was pregnant. That's when I had to run away from Nigeria for over 3 months. That was when so many things happened at that period in time of my life. That's why I say if I look back now, I will not do the film the way I made it that time. I'll be more circumspect in the way I approach the film. Yeah, the film came out, and we went through so many problems. The film was stopped by the censors board. The family was going after me with the court and police and all that. So it was quite, as a young man, if I, like now, with hindsight now, I know that with a family, with children, you will consider the kind of projects you want to get involved in. So I think I was quite young, and there was a useful exuberance around me at that time.
Okay. So eventually, how was the issue resolved?
All the parties, that's the irony of the story. All the parties, when they are separate ways, we were in court. The family went to court. It's a civil case. claiming that I was making a libelous case against me. I was sued for libel and especially libel. That was the case in court, the one by the family. Then of course the censors board stopped the film, but I had to release the film before they could stop the film. So they were also angry with. So at that point in time, the way the case ended, we went to court a couple of times. When I'm in court, the family is not in court. That's the wife and the children. When they are in court, I'm not in court. At the point in time, the court had to throw out the case that this was not even serious. So, but the main aim of the family there was not even to get judgment. Was basically to stop the film.
Okay.
That was the aim. That was the intention, to stop the film. And that was why the first move was to approach me and say, let's discuss if this film will not be released. You get the point? But when the film was released, you have to seek the legal option. Let's stop the film.
Interesting.